He is 6 feet tall, weighs 165 pounds, can throw a mean pitch, and he's only 12 years old.
Isn't that something? But his parents were crying foul when the Wellington Little League, that is, proposed a rule that would send him packing. Tonight, a big meeting and a vote on that proposal. NightBEAT reporter Tracy Martinez was there. She's in the newsroom to tell us what happened. Tracy.
Al, the new rule passed by a 19-vote margin. They call it the 3 beanball and you're out rule. But some Wellington parents are calling it size discrimination.
If Shane Luger or any other pitcher hits a batter more than 3 times during a game, now they won't be able to pitch in that game.
Those in favor of the rule, you please raise your hand.
This new rule decided by a show of hands, parents of players voting on the hottest topic that's divided the small town of Wellington, even families.
Do you think it's fair?
Yeah.
Why is it fair?
Because if Shane hits lots of people, he shouldn't be able to pitch.
You hear your son say...
Well, I can understand. I'm not standing in the box facing the pitcher throwing like that, but if he wants to become a ball player, that's the realities.
At the center of this controversy, and not by choice, 6 foot tall, 165 pound Shane Luger. He's only 12, but packs a powerful, if not completely accurate pitch.
Joe's is so fast, it's just like you gotta jump. He doesn't do it on purpose, though. You know, he's a nice guy and everything. He's my friend.
Still, some parents and players complain, which caused Shane's parents to come out swinging. In editorials, Luger's mom charged some in the league with discrimination.
I was defending my son because it seemed every time there was a problem, it was Shane. Shane is a danger.
The Lugers claim Shane was branded a danger because of his height, but others say it's always been a matter of safety, definitely not size.
The Lugers say they don't agree with the rule, but they do accept it. They also say Shane is working hard to bring that pitch under control. In fact, he hasn't hit a batter during his last several games. Al?
Well, that's good news. Tracy Martinez in the newsroom.
Good news in the war against syphilis tonight. That tops tonight's health beat. The government says the sexually transmitted disease is rapidly disappearing. In fact, last year, new cases of the disease hit their lowest rate in 40 years. The Centers for Disease Control now says it's possible to wipe out syphilis with a stepped-up effort. Also on the health beat, a big day for a man given 18 months to live back in 1989. He finishes a more than 3,000-mile triathlon, swimming, running, and biking his way from Los Angeles to New York. Steve Howley suffers from AIDS and says the medical diagnosis should not be a death sentence.
And if you read carefully the labels on those flea and tick collars, you'll notice something very important. They are for pets. Lots of campers, hikers, and picnickers, it seems, are wearing these flea and tick collars around their ankles, trying to keep the bugs off them. But bad news is they do not work. A bug expert says the active ingredients in these things are meant for animals with fur, animals that do not have sweat glands in their skin as people do. In fact, they say irritation from the anklet could be worse than the itching from the bugs that might occur if you are attacked by fleas.
Keep it in mind. Straight ahead on Eyewitness News tonight, it finally happened in Indianapolis. They raced and wrecked in Indy today as the 500 finished on their 3rd try. Show us details coming up.
And forget the hot dogs and the pies. We're going to take you to a different kind of eating contest. It's later on Channel 3 Eyewitness News, Connecticut's news station.
It's the Celebrity Cosmo Challenge.
It felt like the SAT test.
Bill's rich but boring. Then I was boring, Bill. Jack's cute but broke.
I think Bill should go out with Jack.
And Ed McMahon shows us how the stars got started. Next, Oprah.
Join us at 4, right here on Channel 3. Do you want Connecticut's most accurate forecast? Then turn to Channel 3 Eyewitness News for the most sophisticated forecasting technology in Connecticut. Plan your day with confidence with the Channel 3 New England Weather Service, Connecticut's most accurate forecast.
Eyewitness News NightBEAT continues with word of record cold to be challenged here in southern New England tonight, and additional details on the wild weather in Texas. Right now at the Channel 3 New England Weather Service in Hartford, 52, 53 degrees, fluctuating right between those two temperatures, and across the state, 46 degrees right now in Goshen at the Torrington Country Club, 50 degrees in Enfield, 42 in Waterford, and 51 in Milford. And let's go New England wide and look at southern New England. 50 in Springfield, but 48 in Worcester. Look at Nantucket, 41 degrees and 40 in Hyannis. There is a frost warning out for interior portions of eastern Massachusetts. There's also the possibility of scattered frost in some of the normally colder pockets in interior northern Connecticut and the Berkshires. So be advised, if you have something sitting out on the deck, you don't want to get frostbitten, you might bring it in tonight. Normal high should be 75. Our normal low should be 51. We're looking for readings to drop down into the 30s tonight in southern New England. Tornado watches, we showed them to you at 6. They still continue for portions of Texas on up into the Mississippi River Valley. This is an area that was really under the gun this afternoon. Watch them just erupt out of clear skies. We'll zoom into that area. And the little town of Jasper, Texas, was Jester, Texas, I think it was right in here along the Colorado River on Interstate 35, just north of Austin, about 40 miles. 70 homes destroyed, and one report was that the neighborhood that was hardest hit looked like an open field after the tornado swept through. Still, heavy thunderstorms in parts of Texas tonight as they approach the Mexican border. Well, for us, we had highs in the 50s and 60s today. Tomorrow we'll be in the 70s, and we'll be in the 70s on Thursday as well. Okay, let's check our forecast in detail. For the rest of the night, near record cold. 37 to 43 for overnight lows. Skies becoming clear, winds calming down. Tomorrow, a mostly sunny but milder day. 73 to 76 for afternoon highs in your 5-day planner. Look at this, we get near 80 on Friday. That's almost summerish, but then back into the mid-70s on Saturday and Sunday with the risk of some showers late Friday night into Saturday, and again, the chance of showers on Sunday. But for the next several days, the outlook is bright, but tomorrow morning we'll start off with invigorating cold.
Still not summer yet, by any means.
Not quite.
Thanks,
As if we haven't been invigorated enough with the springtime, I'll tell you.
Invigorating enough, right? Well, NightBEAT Sports coming up now.
Yeah,
no invigoration over here.
Really?
Go ahead, tell us what you got.
Not good when it comes to the Yanks. You know, Baltimore is known for its harbor, crab cakes, and now this week it's Yankee Spanky. The birds are flying high while the bombers are bombing. Quick, Mr. Steinbrenner, hand out the pink slips. The magic spell is almost over. Plus, great balls of fire at the Indy 500. Things heating up at the Motor Speedway, and who is the only one to cool off this track? NightBEAT Sports is next. The New York Yankees have been looking up at the Baltimore Orioles in the standings all year. I got bad news, Yankee fans. Get used to it. It's going to be a long chase from here on out. The Bronx Bombers left a perfect opportunity to slip away like jello through their fingers. Second inning, birds fly high. Jeffrey Hammond's the jackhammer. 3-zip Orioles off Kenny Rogers. Next inning, next nightmare. Pete Incaviglia, the power stroke. Alomar and Ripken score 5-1 Baltimore. Rogers panicked and rolled over, folks. 10-6, the Yankees absolutely horrid on this homestand. Brewers visiting Fenway in Boston with some big bat ability in the 6th. A 2-run deficit becomes a tie game. Reggie Jefferson, we're tied at 6. Then your Bo Sox game winner 2 days in a row with clutch hitting for this team. Mike Stanley scores Darren Bragg. How about them Red Sox? 7-6 your final. Sox have won 4 of 5. From normal humans playing baseball, we turn our attention to Ken Griffey. He still has shown no signs of being mortal this year. In Minnesota tonight, the Seattle Slugger, his 23rd homer of the year, broke his own Major League record for most home runs hit through the month of May. The New York Mets woke up this morning, looked at the standings, and smiled. 5 games over 500, their best record in 5 years. They tried to improve that at Montreal tonight. Great defense. Manny Alexander. Oh, that's 4, 6, 3, the way it ought to be. But it was strange days indeed with Doug Strange. Gets the momentum with the RBI single. That tied it. They went on for the win with the sac fly. Lee Smith, save number 477. Huh? Rain, go away. The Indy 500 had a play. Finally, after 2 days of washouts, it was time to hear this.
Ladies and gentlemen, restart your engines.
Oh, they restarted and they cranked it up with tons of excitement. A little too much for Robbie Gordon. Pulls over because he's on fire. Jumps out, rolls around. puts out the flames. More craziness from Indy. Billy Rowe, Paul Durant run each other right into the wall. That is not good. Who would survive this whole mess? The Flying Dutchman, Arie Luyendyk. One of the experienced drivers out there, and it showed, made the most of a final lap restart. It's his second Indy title. Here's your top 5. Buddy was there last year's winner, finishes 4th. Rick Pitino's yes man has officially been hired by the Celtics. Chris Wallace will take over the title of general manager. He had been Miami's player personnel director. And as for the NBA this evening, oh, they just can't end these games, can they? You ever notice the last couple minutes of an NBA game takes about 3 hours? Utah 91, Houston 84. That series is tied at 2s. Utah now has the lead. Man, the Yankees, Al, I'll tell you. Donna, you know, pinstripes aren't in fashion. Things are not looking good.
One win out of the last 7 games?
Out of the last 7.
Ouch.
Homestand, not good.
Thanks, Joe.
Not good. But there's still a chance. Before we leave you tonight, we're going to show you a high-flying record being set.
And we do mean high-flying. It's coming up on the newsreel, and it's next.
All right, the NightBEAT newsreel takes you to the annual National Geography Bee, and that's Tim Corshane of Enfield. He was knocked out of the running today. The competition decides which middle school student knows the most about the world and everything in it.
Imagine eating 6.5 pounds of rice in one sitting. That's exactly what a Taiwanese woman did to win $7,000 in a rice eating contest. Look at her go, and it took her just, get this, a half an hour to get that done.
Wow.
Ouch.
And have you ever tried holding hands while traveling 120 miles an hour through the air? Well, maybe not, but over the weekend, 100 skydivers did. That's what you're looking at. 100 of them. They beat the previous record, which for this jewel formation had been only 72 divers. 100 of them there.
Magnificent sight. Very pretty.
Sure is. And great work for Tim Corshane. Sorry he didn't go farther in the Geography Bee, but he did good to represent the state.
Thanks for joining us. David Letterman's up next.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Young mom with 3 sets of twins on the next morning.